Hello everyone and welcome to Arcade 92's first 100 plays review of Foo Fighters. So if you haven't seen one of our videos before, I'll give you a brief overview of what we're about to do. These tend to be kind of longer videos, but you can kind of skip to the part that you want to know about if that's your thing. So essentially what's happened is we just got Foo Fighters, one of the first locations in basically DFW to get a Foo Fighters. And as an arcade, we typically get, Stern will send us the pinballs first. So what this basically means is that we're the guinea pigs. So we're doing a review after our first week of play. So at least 100 plays, right? We've definitely got well over that at this point. And how this is important for you is either number one, if you just want to know more about the pinball, if you want to play the pinball machine, I'm going to do a walkthrough so you know what to play. But first, I want to go over if you're considering this to be part of your pinball collection. After 1 week at Arcade 92 would be roughly the equivalent of after 2 years or more in your game room. So this is a great way for you to know what you're getting into by getting this pinball and just kind of what issues it has, what we foresee it to have. And just a general review, because again, these things are not cheap. So we have what's called the Pro Edition, which is great for what's called on routes or in a commercial setting. So I don't have the Premium or the Limited because we purposely select the Pros because they have less moving parts and less to go wrong. So when I go over some of the features, yes, you're looking at the Pro, but a lot of these features will carry over to the different versions, the Limited and the Premium, or if they come up with some special edition. So first thing I'm going to go over is the unique features. That'll be the first part of this video. Second part is going to be what's already broken or what do we think is likely to break. The third part of the video is going to be a general walkthrough of the gameplay. And number 4 will be the artwork and audio review. And then number 5 will be where we rank it, like in terms of all the pinball machines that we've had, where we put this in like a top 10 list, we should say. At least in terms of Stern pinballs. We'll limit it to that. So let's get started. So let's go over some unique features. So as we go here, I want to focus on this right ramp. And one thing I've noticed is that the ramps are fairly wide, especially this one right here. It's a fairly wide ramp. And this one's pretty standard size for a ramp. And why that's important is because when we first played this game, I'm going to call it like just very smooth and buttery shots. Like you can hit those shots. So this is a great game because it's I don't want to say it's easy to hit the ramps. It's just better. It just flows better. So that's the number one thing that I really like about this guy. Another unique thing too, which as you can see, I have no glass here, right? Is I'm going to launch a ball and show you a couple cool features. So in this little spot right here, it's hard to see, but there's actually a switch right here that has a solenoid behind it. So let's see if I can show you this. Right? Isn't that great? So in case you missed it, so the ball's going to drop and hit this spot right here when the ball will be kicked. And in most cases, it actually goes right to that ramp right here. So again, smooth, buttery shots. So very excited about that. That's a very unique feature. Again, it's on the backside, so it's really hard to see. Yeah, there you go. It's that right there. Okay. The next thing is there's 2 right flippers. So flipper here, flipper on the left side, of course, and then there's an upper playfield flipper. And again, what's great is it launches right from there into this circle. So this loops around in a circle, not here. It actually goes behind. So that's very similar to like what we see in like Godzilla, where you can just crank out those shots over and over and over again, building up. So very, very similar to the Godzilla loop. Really, really great shot. The UFO feature, so the other loop that's right next to it here, is great. But end of the day, though, I feel like whenever they have the Pro or Limited Edition, they kind of reduce things and reduce things and reduce things to get it down to the Pro Edition. And in this version, it's not very obvious that that's a UFO. Now, if you look straight down, you can see it's a UFO. But in reality, this was a very much missed opportunity. And I think that's going to be one of the first modifications that people are going to do is like, why not put, there's your bolt right there. Why not put a UFO just floating right above right there? You know, now they've got the Overlord right next to it, right? We'll talk about that one here in a minute. But anyways, so a cool feature because when you hit it, it loops that around, which gets you, you know, various points. But it's just a point feature, honestly. It just helps you rack up higher points. And kind of similar to Attack from Mars, there's a little symbol up here on the screen that shows the damage that the UFO is taking. So it doesn't work quite like Attack from Mars, but it's very similar. Let's launch a ball here to start this over. Okay, so next thing. Very unique feature to have. Here's your flippers. And you've got actually some switches here on the sides. So that's very unique. I've not seen that before in a pin. I'm sure it's happened, but nothing very recently at least. So very unique. I mean, making that shot from here up to here is not a common thing. So, drop targets. Okay, so we'll go over during the actual gameplay, but this is really cool. I'll get us launched here. Okay, so here's your drop targets, and what's neat is you have drop target 1, 2, 3, and then behind it is another switch. And what that's actually doing is it's actually upgrading your van. So really cool feature there that's very unique. So as you hit it, you know, once those drop targets are down, you're increasing the features and capabilities of your van, which we'll go into that when we go over to the actual gameplay. Now, the big thing that I want to say is a special thank you to Stern for finally figuring this out. Metal ramps. Metal ramps. Metal wire ramps. Metal, metal, metal. Everywhere. Thank goodness. In a Pro Edition, we finally have metal all around. And even the plastic ramps are not necessarily bad. They're super cheap, break all the time. And as you clean them, they get super dingy, and it just makes the machine look so much older than it actually is. So thank you guys for finally coming to terms with that these metal ramps, whether it be wire or solid, are the way to build a pinball machine, even the Pro Edition. Now, we'll go over kind of like the general plot. So what you're doing is you're, much like Attack from Mars, you're going to hit a couple shots, and then you're going to activate in this left ramp here, the van. So it's all about the van, and basically the general plot is that the Foo Fighters have their van that they're driving around in. They're driving to all these different cities across the United States to stop this alien invasion. And essentially the aliens, the Overlord, are stealing, as they said, I'm here for all the vacuum tubes, right? So they're stealing all the amplifiers and musical instruments, microwaves, all sorts of things. So the Foo Fighters are stopping them from doing such a thing. So is this a music pen? Yes, but it depends on your definition of a music pen. More importantly, this is a music pen with so much more depth and levels to it. So I really kind of want to say this is a pinball machine. It is with a great storyline. The music side of it is secondary. So some people are going to freak out that I just said that. Because I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan. I love Foo Fighters. Being at Arcade 92, our name comes from being in the 90s. I got a 90s band pen. My gosh, other than like Metallica, there's not a lot going on out there. I mean, obviously Rush was around during the 90s, and Led Zeppelin was around during the 90s. But, you know, this is a truly 90s band pen, which I'm super pumped about. Okay, so, but the missions, once you start a mission, it works very similar to how Guardians of the Galaxy works if you've played that, where you have a certain amount of time to hit the shots. And if you hit the shots, you're victorious for that city. Okay, so now let's go over the next thing, which is what a lot of people want to see. After one solid weekend, what has already broken? Or what do we think is going to break? So number one, we got our flippers here. So within the first week, our left flipper went down. I'm sorry, right flipper went down. Now what I believe has happened is it actually went right back together again. I believe this is an issue where at the factory, they did not tighten the bolts properly. So our solenoid literally was popped off and was just dangling there. Screws went back in, no issues. It held together just fine. So that is odd, though, to have something like that happen so quickly. So other than that, we have not had any breakage in the first weekend. And I know that sounds like that doesn't happen, but we have other pinball machines like Rush, where we had several major mechanical and design failures, where we basically had to power down after the 12th ball, and Rush was down for months. So it does happen sometimes where we didn't just get a bad apple or a lemon. There were reports widespread of Rush just having major mechanical failures, in which there was no parts for in the first matter of weeks, under the first 50 plays. And for us, it was about a dozen. So this does happen. So now things we think are going to break. So up here on the top of this right ramp is a plastic protector right here to keep the ball from launching up and over. That sucker's going down at some point. Now, they use the same design in Mandalorian, but the plastic cover is way down here, so it takes a ton of force. That has broken so many times in Mandalorian. For this one, with it being higher up the ramp, it's going to break, but I think it's going to break not as frequently as the issue in Mandalorian. But something here, if you're getting this pinball machine, a plastic protector of some kind for up here is going to be a thing. It's going to break at some point, probably more sooner than later. The other issue is on the left side here, you've got the same concept. Now this one makes me very nervous. This is a short ramp, so just like Mandalorian, that sucker's going to break. It's going to happen. That one, and what the problem is, that ramp is how you start the missions. So basically the most critical ramp to advancing the gameplay is the one that is most in jeopardy right now. So that's to say, I'm not saying this is a bad game in any way. What I'm saying is, day one, some plastic protectors for that. Hopefully somebody's already thought of it, but this material just cannot handle the speed of that metal ball coming at it. Now what's curious is why the heck this is here. I get this, I do not understand this. So they must have, through some gameplay, realized that it was hopping out of there. How the heck that happened, I don't know. But I don't think it's going to break. I just can't imagine why that's there. There is also, much like in Jurassic Park, as you saw in the UFO, you hit this ball. This is a pinball. This is attached to the playfield. It's going to happen at some point. That's going to break off. Now it's going to take a lot of hits. Thankfully, in Jurassic Park, the ball that's attached is about mid playfield. That takes a lot of abuse. This one's much higher up, so I think it will break at some point, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Let's see what else we got, guys. I do have a curious thing that happened as well, and it's happened only once, but again, we're pretty early in the game. But like I said, these very smooth, buttery shots that happen whenever you land these ramps. I'm going to cue it back up again here. Okay, and launch. Okay. So when you land this shot right here, I'm going to land a shot here, and it comes down this ramp, that ramp right there. When it hits this corner right here, it hops off and goes right back into the trough again. So again, that has not happened often, but we've seen it happen. So there might need to be some kind of a addition, maybe to this screw right here, with some kind of piece that, if it hops off, it at least points it back in the direction to hop right back onto the ramp again. So anyways, very curious about that one. I wanted to bring it up because we saw it happen, but it hasn't happened frequently. So we'll see. Alrighty, so now we're going to go through the walkthrough. So walkthrough is like basically just telling you how the game is played. So there's different ways that people play pinball machines. Number one, hit the blinky lights and just enjoy the blinky lights and the reaction. That's one way. Number two is get the high score. So you need to know somewhat what you're doing. The part I'm going to focus on is the mission, or like the point of the games. So we're going to go through, and I'm going to give you some examples. If you're familiar with Attack from Mars, and if you're familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy, this is a pretty similar concept to that. So you're basically, again, you're Foo Fighters traveling in their van and stopping these aliens, so Foo Fighters, and then you've got against the Overlord. right? And he shows up in lots of places. So they're trying to stop him from taking all of our technology, basically. Specifically, in this instance, musical instruments is what the big concern is. So the Foo Fighters hop in their van and drive, there we go, to these various cities: Seattle, Roswell, Los Angeles, Chicago, New Orleans, and New York. There's 2 bonus rounds of Austin and DC. We'll talk about those here in just a second. But generally speaking, you have 6 cities to go to defeat the alien invasion and save music and save the planet. So again, it is a music pin, but much, much, much deeper than that. So the first thing you need to do is activate van. Activate the van where you can start turning on the mission so you know which city you're going to go to. Now, in most pinball machines, in these drop targets, for example, it would spell VAN, right? Or somewhere there'd be little things that say like, VA, and then maybe another one that says N. That's nowhere on here. So what you're looking for is these white ramps, white lit up ramps. So I'm going to launch a ball. And again, obviously I'm cheating here with the glass off. So as your ball goes up here, okay, go to the screen. That's happened so fast. I'll do it again here. So I'm going to shoot this one, and I'm going to point up to the screen. So again, I'm hitting this ramp right here where it's the white light. So I'm going to hit that, but I'm going to show you the screen. Okay, you see how it just spelled VAN? So you need to hit any of those ramps that are blinking white 3 times to spell VAN. So 1 for V, 2 for A, you get the idea. Now our van light is blinking. So in that same spot, we're going to make that shot. Okay, ball gets stopped. Gets locked up by a pin right there. And then you select your city. So let's do Seattle as an example. So I'm going to launch Seattle, and then I've got the glass off, but normally there'd be a button right here. We've got it taken off, so. Okay. Then you get your very entertaining animations. I don't have my steadier, guys, so sorry for getting dizzy here. Okay, so they all rally together. They're going to go fight the Overlord with all the people from Seattle. Okay. Right, so now if you look in the top corner, you've got 45 seconds counting down. And you're shooting for this anywhere that's blinking blue. So each city has like a different color. But in this instance, Seattle is blue. So I'm going to launch this shot. Okay, so we made that shot. And it gave you credit. You see little 3 lines there for making that shot. And the idea is to fill up that meter right there next to the number 36. Right, so I'll do that again. So shooting the ramp. I'm going to show you the screen. Okay, it's not good when you lose, even if you're cheating. So. Okay, so I made the shot. And then you got more bars. Right? Same idea. More bars. Right? So whenever you complete that, okay, hang in there, one more, I think. So blue light. And the timer's counting down. Then what you're going to do is to finish it, similar to like the Attack from Mars concept, is you need to hit the Overlord. All right? I mean, man, how many times is it going to have me do this? Hang on a second. And that's going to come up, like how many times I'm having to hit this ramp is a lot. But I'm going to show you why that's going to change. Okay, there we go. So full. So shoot the Overlord for your final shot. So before the timer runs out, ball comes straight, almost up the middle, and you hit the Overlord. Great. Mission accomplished. You now Seattle is a single solid light. That mission's now accomplished. Okay. Okay, so that took a lot of shots. I wasn't keeping count, but what was that, like 8? Like 8 ramps or so you got to hit, maybe 9. So the cool thing, though, is if you look right here, is your van upgrades. So you got your engine, it's like defense and a bomb, okay? So if you hit the engine, then the shield, it's not shield, it's something else. It's like defense or something. Okay, now I can hit again. So now what's happening is I'm getting upgrades. So now on my next mission, I'm gonna have more time, plus less ramps to hit, plus much like Guardians of the Galaxy, the top button here, which you can't see, is gonna light up, so you can tap that button, much like the Hadron Enforcer in the game Guardians of the Galaxy. So the more you hit this, the easier each mission gets. Okay, so I'm gonna load it up again, so just y'all hang with me for a sec. Just enjoy the blinky lights for a minute. So again, I'm spelling V-A-N here. You don't need to see it because I'm just getting it loaded up. Okay, hang with me. Okay, we spelled V-A-N. Okay, so now van light's blinking, ready for the next mission. Hit the shot. It gets held. We pick a city. So we're gonna let's go to Roswell. Okay. So you get a new song to play. You get a new animation. It gives you some instructions. So you get really great animations. Okay. So now again we're blinking green, right? Actually, I'm sorry. We're blinking orange for Roswell. Okay. So we made the shot, and if you look here, I've got 126 seconds. So you see how much that improved? So in the last time, I had to hit it in, 36 seconds we had? But because I hit this upgrade so many times, I now have 120 some odd seconds. Okay? So hit the next ramp. And then when I hit the ramp, it gives me more credit for each ramp. And if you'll notice, if you look real close, my time goes back up a little bit every time I land a shot. Right? Or at least it stutters for a moment. But you see, that's only 3 ramps, and I'm almost done. Okay. Right, so there we go. So same idea. So I was able to do in 4 ramp shots what took me 8 or 9 last time. And then, of course, finish it off by hitting the Overlord. Right, and then the mission's done. But we're going to tank it, because that'll start a multi-ball if we do that. So anyways, super cool feature where you can, there's things you can do to make the missions easier to work your way through all 6 cities. And technically there's 8, and I'll explain that why, or why that is. So once you defeat 3 of these cities, you can do them in any order you want, but let's say you defeat 3 of these cities, it gives you the choice to open the somewhat hidden cities. They're not really hidden, they're right here, but where they're bonus rounds, so Austin or DC. You can choose whichever one you want, and it triggers a bonus round where you can just rack up a whole bunch of points. It is multi-ball, so you get just an insane amount of balls, and it's absolutely total chaos for a while. As long as you don't lose your last ball, if it gives you like 6 balls for the multi-ball, as long as you're holding on to 1, it doesn't count as you lost your turn. You just get all those bonus points, and it ends that bonus. Right. So then whenever you defeat the other 3 cities, let's say you do these 3 first, and these 3 next, and let's say halfway through you chose Austin, the final level is going to be DC. Right, for the same thing. It's just, as long as you don't lose your last ball, it's just a bonus round. Okay? Or you could, let's say, do, again, any order of these 3, you do DC, then the game ends in Austin. So it kind of goes either way, right? And what I like here, too, is, again, what makes us definitely still a music pen, even though I'm flopping on that, is you get to choose with the flipper what song you want to hear during the gameplay. So you select that, then launch, and you're ready to rock. Okay? So really excited about that. So that, and then once you finish all 6 cities plus the 2 bonus cities, the game just starts over. Or you keep adding more and more to your score. And to that end, there's a couple like, oh look, I'm the champion because I cheated. But you get to do like kind of like these side missions or so. And for the most part, when you hit the UFO up here, like that's just racking up more points, right? There's what's called the Area 51 multi-ball right here by hitting this ramp, the right ramp. It's just racking up more points. There's something called the bot frenzy where I guess the Overlord has these minions here. So like this guy here, they're kind of well hidden. These 2 guys right here, here and here. There's one more around here somewhere, but I lost him. But anyways, you just hit those guys, and it enters into what's called the bot frenzy, where you basically just rack up a bunch of points. And it kind of does like a robotic variation of a Foo Fighters song. And if I had to be honest, it's super annoying. So anyways, there's also these little like, I want to say they're like atomic symbols, but they're not. But as these light up, you get combo bonuses. So they'll light up so you know which one to hit. But anyways, there's 2 here. There's pretty much 1 for every ramp. Again, it's just for points. It's just for points as you rack up more ramps that you're hitting. But you do them in order, basically. Okay, so now let's talk about the thing where I don't, in no way, by the way, I enjoy pinball. That doesn't mean I'm any good at it. But I really, really enjoy it. So I'm definitely not like the kind of guy where you're going to watch me play. I mean, obviously I'm pulling off the glass here to show you the game. I wish I was that much of a badass where I could just hit these shots and walk you through it, but that's just not the case. But I want you to know like what this game is, where we rank it, how much we like it. And I get that I'm supposed to be like the professional first-hand knowledge and being the guinea pig by Stern. I cannot figure out how to build this freaking robot to save my life. So there's a whole part of the game here where you're building the Foobot, okay? I cannot figure it out. So if you guys know how to do this, please put in the comments how the hell you build a damn robot, because I don't get it. I have really just stared at this thing and tried to figure it out. The thing is that as I'm playing the game, I see the robot, like I'll get like the right arm and the chest and the leg, but I haven't got the other things. Sometimes they blink, sometimes they're solid. I don't get it. So let's go to the instructions in the play card to figure out how to do it, right? Okay, let's see. So here's your instructions. Build the Foobot. Collect all 6 parts for Foobot multi-ball. Great. How do you do that? Nowhere on there. No clue. No idea. There's nothing even obvious on the play field. Even the bot award right here is unlocking these bots for the bot frenzy. I don't get it. So somebody do me a solid and put in the comments, Mike, you're a doofus. You missed it. It's clearly this and that right there. And then, of course, there's also, again, the Overlord, where if you get it in here, it triggers the Overlord multi-ball. And what's neat is there's 3 different songs that get added, 3 different songs that get played during that multi-ball sequence. Again, just a way to increase your score. Doesn't really do anything for you as far as progressing the actual story. Okay, so moving on to the next to last section. Audio, playfield, artwork. Stern, amazing job, guys. Like, wow. I could not be more pleased with the artwork, with the audio that's being, I mean, I like Foo Fighters as a band, so don't get me wrong there. Like, obviously I'm biased, but how the audio is incorporated is fantastic. As far as like the actual theme of the game, I don't have a single complaint. I think this was incredibly well put together, and we're just super proud to have it at Arcade 92. The side art is fantastic. You can't really see it here. Let me try to come around here. It is the same on both sides. I don't know if that's the issue in the premium or the limited edition, but dang, well done, everybody. Great design work, great flowing gameplay, and again, audio, fantastic. We generally turn up our music pins a little louder, so yes, I'm putting this back in the music pin category. But amazing job. So, and again, I'm just to clarify, Stern isn't like, say, hey, Mike, Arcade 92, like we're literally just an arcade to them. Like I don't get any like kickbacks or anything like that. Like if you saw my video on Rush, I was like, Stern is dead to me. Right? Like again, I will give you the brutal, honest truth as we play these things. Rush was, I was ready to just wheel our Rush outside in the dumpster and never buy a Stern again. So, but Godzilla blew my mind, and this one, Foo Fighters, also blew my mind. So on that note, I'm going to back up here a second because we're not open yet. We're about to open, so I need to wrap this up here. But I'm going to go through, we have 11 pins here at the arcade, and the Sterns generally hold up to the abuse, because again, in one weekend, these machines see a lifetime of play that they were designed for. Everything we have is Stern except for this Hot Wheels right here, and in fact, you saw the Rush over there. This is American Pinball. I love Hot Wheels. It's a great game, but I was just about to be done with Stern, so we were going to start bringing in more American pinballs, which they've got a Valhalla. They've got the new Galactic Tank Force, and I like them. I think they've got a great machine. And they can hold up to the abuse that a free play modeled business can do. And you can see right now our Deadpool is down. It's got, again, thankfully getting the parts has been a lot easier. The part actually came in actually yesterday, so it's being installed today. A sad part though, because it's part of the sling, and one of the pins came out and scratched up the playfield. So man, that's such a bummer. We've never actually had that happen before, but we take incredibly good care of these machines. They're maintained and cleaned every single week. But anyways, let's get back on track. I'm getting sidetracked here. So let's talk about Foo Fighters. So I'm going to put these in order for you, and just to back it up a little bit, Godzilla has been my reigning champion as the number one, and I'm not saying all pinball machines. I'm saying like modern Sterns in like the last couple years or so, maybe like last 3 years or so. But anyways, so again, if I had to do all pinballs, I'm just going to give you in ranked order what I have here today, right? So I am ready to declare that Godzilla has been unseated as the king, and I'm ready to say that Foo Fighters is what I believe the best pinball released by Stern. Now, what I will say, though, as if everyone just kind of fell out of their chair, the Godzilla Pro, Premium, and Limited are fantastic. They've done a great job, and honestly, man, I wish we had the Limited or the Premium, because the added elements that they have are so great. But again, they have so many moving parts, and it's hard to survive in a setting like a free play model for an arcade. So that said, let me back up. Okay, the Foo Fighters Pro, I believe, is superior to the Godzilla Pro. But for Premium and Limited Edition, I do think Godzilla is still above where Foo Fighters is. So take that for what you will there. But I would put Foo Fighters currently, in terms of Pro editions, at number 1. I put Godzilla now at number 2. And 007, I put at number 3. So let's kind of keep it going. So if that's number 3, I'm going to hop back and forth a little bit here. So try not to get dizzy. So number 4, I'm going to put at Star Wars. Number 5 is going to be the Munsters. Number 6 is going to be Jurassic Park. Number 7 for me is going to be Avengers Infinity Quest. Number 8 is going to be Deadpool. I actually really, really like Deadpool, but it's just riddled with issues. It just was not designed very well and has a very regular problems that can be traced back to how it was designed. Mandalorian, the exact same story. So not to get caught up in a Mandalorian video, but these plastic ramps, for goodness sake, everybody, thank goodness this is over. I really hope it's truly over. But they're so gross. This part of the playfield right here breaks. We've replaced that so many times. And it's critical to the gameplay. It's how you advance your next mission. Same idea. So I don't know how, but we've got to start using some type of metal cover. And I get you can't see the metal through metal, but at least for just this one section, it's got to be metal. You've got to figure that out. Otherwise, these cannot survive in commercial settings. So if we replace that over and over and over again, by far, and this diverter up here breaks all the time. And again, it's just how it was designed. So again, Mandalorian, it had potential to be a great game, just like Deadpool, but because of the way they designed it, it's just riddled with issues. Now, for your home system or your home game room, I'm sure you're going to love it. But don't be surprised by year 1, maybe year 2, you got little bits of cosmetic pieces just floating around inside your playfield. And it goes down to how it was designed. And in a great twist of irony, so now you're going to be like, man, that guy's got no idea what the hell he's talking about. I put Rush last. Rush, I've got some bad blood with it. It won the Pinball of the Year, I guess. Don't know why. I honestly don't know why. We've got, again, in at least the Pro Edition, there's plastic ramps. It's super, there's an opening over here, there's a ramp over there, and you can launch your side shots, like in like Godzilla. Like, okay, like, that's nothing special. I mean, there's a cool center thing, where you can get, oh, there's a bad glare. Okay, so that's like Austin Powers. Like, okay, like, this is a basic pen. And I know the Pro and I'm sorry, I know the premium and the limited were better versions. They kind of went back to like these kind of like old school like lighting. The lighting's bad in it. The playfield is boring as all get out, right? I mean, compare this, right? Compared with this, right? Compare again that with this. So again, I have no love for Rush. It is, and if it helps also too, it is we're a free play model. Rush consistently every week has the least amount of plays. So I don't know how this one, it's got to be something unique. I've personally seen the Pro Unlimited. I'm sorry, I keep saying that, the Premium Unlimited. I don't get it. I really don't. So there has to be something. But even if you disagree with me, when customers walk in here and these are all their 11 choices to play, that's the worst. And again, we're not pay to play. You're not putting in quarters or dollars. And it's not like, oh, Rush is a little less played. It's way less played. Like the next best one nearly doubles its numbers. So again, don't know what happened to make that the game of the year. But here we are. So anyways, take it from what you will. That's my opinion, but it also seems to be playing the opinion of every customer we've had in here since we've got it. Not every customer, just the number of customers. How many times people hit that start button is fewer on Rush than it is any other game, by far. So I've started making this a pick on Rush video, but back to Foo Fighters. So again, fantastic game. A+ Stern. You guys did an amazing job. I highly recommend this for anybody's game room. I kind of want one in my game room, so I don't have to just play it here. But well done. Hope you guys have found this video to be useful. I didn't have my stabilizer today, so hopefully nobody's getting nauseous. But we look forward to the next pin that's going to be released. Obviously this just came in, so it's going to be a while, but we enjoy doing these videos. We hope it helps you. I mean, even if you get the Pro, you're making a $7,000+ decision. So we want that to be a well-educated decision. But if you wanted to, instead of spending your $7,000, come give us $12 and you get unlimited play on all of our pinball machines. No quarters, no tokens, everything is set to free play. We've got 11 pins. We've got 90s retro, 80s retro. We've got esports, and we've got some modern gaming as well. Rhythm games, retro consoles. We've got about 101 games in here, all set to free play. Full bar. We've got some amazing signature cocktails, and we also have delicious food as well. So we're about to open here in a couple minutes, so I got to run everybody. So y'all keep playing. As our slogan here at Arcade 92 is, it's time to play again. It is a reminder to tell everyone to make time to play. It's good for you. It's healthy for you. It makes life enjoyable. Don't grow up. It's a trap.